Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the DreamHack Dallas Halo 3 Grassroots Tournament, and you're just in time because it is Championship Sunday and we're on to our grand final. Our teams have fought hard and heavy for the whole weekend, and I am joined by Lethal, who has actually got to witness most of these series with me, and my goodness, it has been the most amazing weekend of action I have ever seen, actually, probably in Halo 3 so far. I mean, these teams have come out of the woodwork, some put together a week before, and now they're in the grand final. Pretty incredible.
Who would have expected it? You know, this is going to be one of the best grand finals we've seen since we've had Halo 3 events back now. And a lot of rivalry, a lot of history of these teams as well. But, you know, it's going to be one of those situations where, you know, TOX, one of the most structured work ethic team here, versus a mixed team with a lot of veterans, a lot of new blood, and it's going to be a really good one.
It is indeed. Now I'm going to introduce the rest of our desk for your grand final. Gaskin and Clutch, you will be casting over these two potential champions going forward. I'm super, super excited, but before I get your say on either of these teams, we are actually going to announce them to the stage just now. Please welcome the red side for your grand final, TOX Gaming.
TOX Gaming, who of course have had an absolutely phenomenal run thus far to this grand final. Snakebite, Royal 2, Lethal and APG have yet to drop a series, and that's why they find themselves in this grand final. They are the favorites. They just need to win one best of 7. It sounds simple, but I think it is going to be quite tough, to be honest, Lottie.
It is indeed going to be extremely tough because they're going against another powerhouse team on the blue side, Falling Esports.
Neighbor, Ace, Eco and Frosty, some of the biggest names in the game. Lethal, you were talking about rivalries, but I think all these 8 players, they're just good friends, and that's what's going to create such an incredible final here at DreamHack Dallas. They have struggled falling against TOX in the prior meeting in the winners bracket finals, but now they're back and they need to win 2 best of 7s if they want to win this grand final.
I mean, the struggle was real, Gaskin, but it was very, very close, you know, and it's going to be even harder right now for both of these teams. If they think they're going to get away with a decent, quick series, a 4-0, it's not going to happen, is it, Clutch?
Absolutely not. I mean, we saw the winners finals with these two teams going neck and neck at each other for what felt like an eternity, Dan. I mean, every single game felt like it was down to the wire, besides maybe 2 of them that actually Falling was able to take. So the only games that have been blowouts in this series between these two teams are the ones that Falling has won. All the close games with the TOX.
Absolutely. Well, looking at that TOX roster, a lot of scenarios that happened in that Falling series came down to small mistakes that Falling were able to capitalize on. But then you look at the way they handled that, that really showed their star potential in this team. The individual talent of some of these guys on this TOX roster was formidable. You look at TJ, Lethal, stepping up when he needed to in that pit CTF, and honestly, for me, that won them the game. You look at Snakebite in the narrow CTF, really clutching up for his team, and it goes on and on. I could go across the board. APG, the supporting that he was doing for his team was unbelievable, and I could say it 1,000 times. I have said it probably 1,005 times, but this team right now, they are going to be extremely hard to beat.
That is right. You know, TOX, they are the grand final specialists here, and for good reason as well. All their work ethic time the last 3.5 years, placing top 2 at every single event, has led to this point and for future events as well. And they know how much of a tough squad this is going to be for Falling. And every single one of these players have that star quality. It's very hard to pick one of these out because each and every single one of them will put more than enough effort in to get that slaying power and objective done. And it's going to be coming up to these game types, and we'll have to see how this series pans out.
100%. Gaskin, I know you're a man of stats and cool little facts, and I got one for you because I noticed that the setup for TOX Gaming has actually changed, and for the past 4 years, PJ, Snakebite and Matt Royal 2 have been sitting next to each other countless amounts of times. It's kind of their setup, but that has changed now that we have APG in the picture. I took the liberty of going to ask the team why that was. Why have they changed that up? They said it's because APG and Snakebite work so well together as a duo to push. They have the timings down, and for them to be next to each other, looking at the screen, sharing that information with one another was detrimental to their winning ability and coming through the series. And it's worked really, really well in St. Louis. Do you think that that could actually push them forward now, going against some of the top teams?
Of course, sometimes sometimes, I mean, it can be detrimental to move positioning. It actually is more important than you might think because certain players will be used to being able to see screens, etc., etc. However, it's clear that something's going right for Tox at this tournament. I mean, Snakebite's been picking up plenty of sniper rifles as well, which usually Royal 2 is doing. So clearly, there is communication there. There are changes, but the changes have been for the better.
Absolutely. And then we look at this falling roster right now, Clutch. I mean, from what we've seen so far, Eco and Frosty seem to be telling their team what to do, where to go, what is happening on the maps, and they're letting them just do their own thing. This team is flourishing under the control of each other. They're allowed to push when they want to. Neighbor's allowed to flank where he wants to, and that seems to be working for them.
Yeah, we want to talk about a seeding change. We got to talk about falling seeding change as well. Frosty and Eco actually weren't even sitting next to each other at the beginning of this tournament, but take a close look at how they're aligned right now. Both of them use such good teamwork together that they're like, hey, we need to switch this up. We're not exploiting the teamwork that we have as like the advantage we have using our duo as a teamwork. And I love the fact that they were able to see that mid-tournament change, and they found so much success since they've done it. Really look for Frosty and Eco to kind of bait and switch with each other and really open up the map for the rest of the Falling Esports roster.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the grand final, and I want to hear from you guys at home. So type in the chat right now, hashtag your favorite team to take this grand final. Let me know who your DreamHack Dallas champion is going to be. I'll let you know a little later on. Gentlemen, it's going to be an incredible ride, and I really want to know this series layout coming up next, because the maps are going to count here, the game types are going to count here, and the combinations of both. The players want to know exactly what is going to be going down in this best of 7. We've got to capture the flag on Onslaught to start. That is, for me, that's quite a tough one here for both of these teams. Slayer Heretic, we have seen falling, looking so amazing in this Heretic map. What can they do with their slaying ability, though?
From what I've seen so far, this basically shouts reset in some ways. I feel like Falling could take this because Heretic CTF, they're very strong on that one. Amplified TS, also quite a good one for them as well. But the Construct Heal and the CTF Narrows can be very 50-50. The CTF Narrows, with that very long overtime we saw earlier, was a great example of that. And of course, that first game type, CTF and Onslaught, will be about that raw gun skill. But for the Slayers, it's very much a coin flip.
Yeah, just looking at the game types right here, you see 4 of our game types in this best of 7 are BR only maps. So you see 2 Heretics, you see Onslaught, you see Amplified. This is going to favor Falling because they had such a problem with the rocket control that Tox laid down on them in that first winners finals. Don't be surprised when Falling is able to win those maps and heavily do so, because we already saw them play Tox and Heretic Flag and they wiped the floor.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing that capture the flag on Narrows as well if it gets there, because I mean that game for me was a nail biter. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and the clutch plays coming from both sides. Honestly, that right now could swing either way for me as well.
Yeah, it's incredible stuff. Like, that's why I'm glad you agreed as well, because those game types did favor Falling in multiple ways. I didn't see it from a power weapons perspective, which is a very good point, and you just feel like the best thing to talk about is the fact that with Tox, even though they're very structured and may have the leadership role for callouts, when you're in a mixed team, that's where you can increase the pace of the game, because you can do your own thing at your own time and at the same time coordinate as you're doing it. And because they are a mixed team but have the structured ways of being able to set up and all those bits and pieces, it's all about pace at this point. When you all know to the point where in this meta, you all know everything anyway, it all comes back to the speed and the pace of the game, and that's where Falling have the advantage there.
Absolutely, the best man will win on the day. Let's have a look at what you guys have said at home. We want to get our predictions in now from you. Here we go. Oh, okay. Falling Esports. 68% of you guys said that they are going to take this grand final. Why are you smiling?
Yeah, I just think that Tox has had so much time to build up a fan base, and Falling Esports is just such a new team that it's surprising that they're going to try and vote for the underdogs, the players that really have to win 2 best of 7s. Even how evenly matched these teams are, asking one of them to win 2 straight best of 7s is a large task. So, I mean, Twitter, you might be right, but it's a long road for Falling Esports.
It is indeed. That is right. There's 2 best of 7s to win for Falling Esports if they want to claim this trophy for themselves, and only 1 for Tox Gaming. Gentlemen, it is about time. I am really excited. I'm about to go take my perch with Lethal. We're going to take our notes, but please take away our grand final.
Well, before we do get into this grand final, we have an incredible crowd behind me here in Dallas. And I want to hear a little bit of noise. There we go. And I want to hear noise throughout this final because this is going to be an incredible grand final between Falling Esports and Tox, two of the best teams that we've seen throughout this tournament. And Wes, I don't think we could have asked for a better final.
Absolutely not. I mean, we saw the winners finals and how many individual plays were being made by every single one of these players. There's going to be reasons to be making noise. I promise you that, crowd.
I hope so. I hope there's going to be a lot of sniper headshots and maybe not so many rockets because of how the game types have panned out. But only two of the game types that we saw in the winners bracket final feature in this grand final. So I think that says we're going to get a lot of fresh Halo 3 gameplay. Map number 1 is going to be Capture the Flag on Onslaught. Initial thoughts, Mr. Clutch?
Yeah, I think this heavily favors the same team that was able to dominate a Heretic flag style of map in Falling Esports. I think that when you take away power weapons and power-ups and timings and all that, it's going to come down to like real natural teamwork. And I think that we're going to see Frosty and Eco really try to expose this Tox roster and their passiveness. I mean, players like Neighbor have been such a nuisance on Onslaught as well for so long. I remember having to compete against Neighbor multiple times back in the day. And on Onslaught, he's always at your base. He's always under the base, bobbing and weaving, and he just seems like it's always impossible to try and finish that kill. If he's able to kind of get in Tox's base and create an opening for the rest of this Falling Esports roster, look for them to take game 1.
Well, game 1 is just about ready, and we're going to dive straight into Capture the Flag on Onslaught. We've got Falling Esports, and we have Tox going against them. We spoke about rivalries, but I think there's so much friendship in this 8-player final here. They've teamed together, they've played against each other, they know each other inside out at this point, Wes. And there's so much history between these two teams as well. Frosty, who used to be on Tox Gaming, has the chance now to upset his ex-teammates in this grand final. Game number 1 is just about locked and loaded. And you know what, Wes? I don't know if I can call it either way here. I don't genuinely know who is going to win this grand final. I think that's what makes it so exciting.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really going to come down to who steps up, who wants it more. And we talk about how close of friends these are. But, I mean, everybody wants to win this series for not only bragging rights, but for this cash, Dan. This is a big series for all these players. Let's see who's going to get it done.
Here we go then, the grand finals here at DreamHack Dallas. And we're starting things off with Tox Gaming with APG, who has been kind of an unsung hero throughout this tournament. We haven't seen much of his point of view, but when we do, he's always getting the job done. He's doing the dirty work, and straight away, he's pulling a flag as well. He's got support from his teammates, and he's going to get this over the halfway line. This could be an early cap for Tox Gaming because there's no one from the opposite side. 1-0 to Tox. That's one way to start a grand final.
I love how Tox started this game off. Hyper aggressive. APG grabs their flag as fast as is probably possible to get to the enemy base. Tox starting this series off exactly how they wanted to.
Snakebite moving their second flag as well, and it doesn't look like there's any member of Falling Esports to stop this because they're being spawn killed off the bat. And Tox Gaming really controlling this. They're 2-0 up at this point. It's been such a hyper-aggressive start from them, and it just doesn't look like Falling Esports were ready for this one, Club.
And a big question was, will Falling Esports run out of gas today? They've had to fight themselves a pretty far distance against Reciprocity in the losers finals. Tox was sitting there watching that series as they 4-0'd him. Tox doesn't seem stunned at all to see Falling Esports. In fact, they may be happy.
Well, Royal 2 can't quite survive on the base. He was trying to just anchor and hold, as we've seen so much throughout different variations of games in this tournament. Neighbor, though, will get killed off a spawn. Eco's trying to get aggressive to take the fight with Lethal down under the base, but unfortunately for him, he had a teammate there to join him, and he gets the melee just to finish off that kill. But everything's starting to slow down ever so slightly. Not as much control now for Tox Gaming. Falling Esports seem to have wrestled back a little bit of this map, Clutch.
That was a great job by Frosty and the rest of Falling Esports to kind of push that ace out of the map. But right as I say that, 2 of them go down. Frosty does get a touch on the flag, wins a one-on-one, and now Snakebite has a very important role, but Eco takes them out as well. This is an opportunity for Falling Gaming to kind of give Tox some of their own medicine.
Yeah, Fallen Esports trying to push in and trying to take down the members who are very weak in the base. You can see across to my right, there's screaming call-outs between some of these players as well to ensure that these kills are finished off. Well, there's a double kill and a killing spree for Eco, and maybe this can be a flag in the hands of Falling Esports. There are going to be players of Tox Gaming on spawn. That's why Eco's being hesitant to run it, but he's got plenty of room, plenty of space. 2-1, and Falling Esports are on the board.
And I feel like we just saw Eco dive, so for him to be on a killing spree means he just picked up 5 quick kills. That's exactly what you want from a player like Eco. Efficient kills, because he turned that killing spree into a flag cap.
Well, he's the last one alive on this Falling Esports roster. APG is going to take the fight, but unfortunately for him, he's not going to win it. And now the rest of Falling Esports can spawn, and they can join Eco. Maybe on an attack, maybe a push, maybe look for another flag to get back into this, as several members of Tox are now being caught down low, and really neither team able to get any height in these last couple of minutes.
Yeah, it looks like Falling Esports has weathered Tox's storm, and now they're trying to get footing of their own. You see him having top B control, Royal 2 getting to no shield, Snakebite about to be caught out, but does pick up a one-on-one kill before Ace is able to finish him out. But this is a great position for Falling Esports right now if they're able to get a few kills here on the base.
Eco does find one, can't quite get the second onto Lethal, but he did a plenty amount of damage to allow his teammates to push up. Neighbor gets grenaded off top A, and that's going to be all 4 dead for Falling Esports after the double kill from Snakebite. But look how intelligent that play is. He backs off, and he's going to anchor from the base, as APG's the one who's getting aggressive. He's the one chasing the spawns, but he just needs to stay alive and be a nuisance here.
Deja vu from Snakebite. He won his one-on-one on B Street, he wins his one-on-one on A Street, and that's going to open up the map for Tox right now, Dan.
Yeah, they managed to get 2 down, so there's going to be plenty of players just spawning, and if they can watch these spawns correctly, it could be a flag run. But Eco, he's being a nuisance on the other side of the map. APG can't jump out with this flag because he's got no shields. Has to wait, gets the killing spree though, and now he can move the flag. Now Tox can continue to try and train this across the map. He gets it into the base. He might go down. No, he doesn't. It's 3-1, and Tox again have got Falling Esports on the back foot.
We see Eco get a killing spree, run the flag, and cap it. We see APG get a killing spree, run the flag, and cap it. Deja vu once again, Dan. These players are so evenly matched and so capable of each other's individual skill that it's a show they're putting on so far.
But it does seem that every time we move over to Eco's point of view, it is a multi-kill. He seems to be the player stepping up for Falling Esports at the moment. He's the one getting behind enemy lines and trying to get the job done, as the flag is now going to be moving for Falling Esports. But APG wins the fight. That's going to be 4 dead. It's a double kill for APG. He's doing the work again. PJ tosses the flag out, and Tox, they're in so much control right now.
Right, I love what Snakebite's doing right here. He throws the flag out. He's going to let APG try and go for this flag while he was trying to slay in the base. Gets a kill, does some damage to another player. APG knows it's his job to run the flag, so he goes down bottom middle for it. And once again, we're going to see Tox cap the flag.
Well, we should. APG doesn't quite get it in, but thankfully someone was there just to put it in for him. A little bit of a fumble, but it doesn't matter because the scoreline still stands 4-1, and APG is going to be more than happy to take fights, but it wasn't a 1v1. Frosty came to spoil the party with a couple of grenades. 3 members of Tox Gaming are now down, but look how quickly they jump onto Neighbor. He somehow survives, and actually it's very important he did do so, because it just meant the rest of Tox Gaming were a little bit worried, and they had to just look back and try and kill him.
Right, but that was such a great job by Tox to kind of weather that storm. Neighbor was in such a good position to start the spawn kill and potentially get Falling Esports back into this game. And Royal 2 says no as well. These kills from Tox are adding up, because that was Falling Esports' opportunity with complete map control to kind of get at least a single cap. They were unable to even get a flag pulled, Dan.
Well, now we're watching Ace push into the base, and it's a player who has been performing so well throughout this tournament. Has looked like a completely different player from what I used to seeing. He's always been on form. He's hit some incredible statistics this weekend as well, and at the moment he's just trying to survive while he lays down shots on the spawners, takes down APG. He did toss out the flag. He is still surviving with very little shields, but Royal 2 does take him down eventually, and it means now that Royal 2 can just carry on a tear. He's got the height, he's got a triple kill as well, and Royal 2 is getting the job done. Make that an overkill with the grenade. He looks across, he wants more. He's not going to find it, but he just killed 4 members of Fallen Esports. It's going to give Tox Gaming so much room to run this flag. It's flag number 5. I don't think anyone from Fallen Esports is there to stop it. As I say that, a grenade does come in, but is it going to be enough? Or are they going to be able to push back and maybe get themselves back into it? No one looks like they're able to touch this flag at the moment, so it might just be enough. There's the recover from Fallen Esports. They survive, but Royal 2's on a killing spree.
Yeah, I love that play by Royal 2. He sees his flag guy die and immediately knows that that flag is probably gone. It's not going to be able to be capped, so he just goes for the kills. He's going to try and stop Falling Esports' attempt to counter cap that situation. Not to mention the overkill he got. Royal 2 starting this series off like an MVP.
I guess we have to give credit where credit is due, though. The fact that Falling Esports survived despite getting overkilled by Royal 2 really shows that defensively they pushed into the right areas to stop that flag run as Lethal gets taken down, but Snakebite is going to be around to try and answer back with Royal 2 behind him. They're really pushing well together at the moment, Tox Gaming. They are an absolute wolf pack. Neighbor's going to be caught out bottom middle, and he's going to be called out bottom middle for APG to finish him off.
Right, and this teamwork by Tox is just incredible right now. Royal 2 in the perfect spot to cut off Neighbor's flank. And then they were able to finish every other kill on the map. This is an opportunity for Tox to end game one right now, Dan. It looks like APG is going to be running the fight bottom middle. Once again, he's got his full shield. Teammates are slaying, and he's going to put it in. Tox wins game one.
And Tox deserved to win game one as well with the way they approached it right from the get-go. Falling Esports just couldn't keep up with the sheer control we saw from Tox Gaming. The spawn killing was there, a little bit of everything. But you can see Snakebite on the player cams there just saying, look, everyone just keep calm. We haven't got the job done yet, but this is the first step towards a victory here.
Yeah, that's exactly how Tox wants to start this series off. I mean, Snakebite going 22-13, Lethal 21-14. Typically not the Slayers for this roster, but they're stepping it up at the exact right time. It's the finals. This is what finals players do.
And would you say that that game was a case of Tox doing everything right, or were there things that maybe Falling Esports were doing wrong in the Onslaught game?
The pace Tox was playing at, they had Falling Esports on their back heels for the majority of that game. That's more of a Tox doing right rather than a Falling Esports doing wrong.
And it was an incredible start to this final as well. Game number 2 is going to be Slayer on Heretic. And if we had pace in Onslaught, I think we're going to get a little bit of pace in this Heretic Slayer game as well.
Yeah, I expect the exact same pace to be kind of put into this Heretic Slayer. It's a very fast game. Difficult to stop the snowball on Heretic Slayer once it starts going downhill. Falling Esports, you didn't win a Slayer in Winners Finals. Will you be able to do it in the finals? That's the question. I mean, we had a few close Slayers, but that's been a problem for this Falling Esports roster against Tox. Is like their clutch factor is like when the games are close and they start to extend, that veteranship of Tox, that experience of Tox has really started to show. And the longer these games go on, the more they favor Tox. So Falling Esports, how are you going to be able to counteract what just happened?
How are they going to be counteracting it? That is the big question, Clutch. Can they get back into this series, or are Tox going to start to pave their way towards being champions here at DreamHack Dallas? Or maybe one of these members of Falling Esports are going to step up when they need to. We've seen Ace do it, we've seen Frosty do it, but can they do it on Slayer Heretic? We're going to start off with Lethal, though, of Tox Gaming. He gets a stick right from the get-go onto Neighbor as well. The perfect way to start any sort of push early on in the game.
Absolutely. When luck's on your side and you have the amount of skill Lethal has, that's good news. That's what Tox wants to hear. But Falling Esports has gone all 4 dead at the beginning, and now it's a 6-1 lead already for Tox Gaming. Let's see if they can start the spawn trap.
They've really come out of the gates hot, have Tox Gaming, and you can see they're trying to swarm in on those spawners. They're 7-2 up. They do see Ace just got out on his own. Need to be careful of this plasma grenade, but he's able to secure the kill. And now Lethal's just in such a damaging position to the Falling Esports roster. Doesn't get a triple, but he's on a killing spree already, and we're only barely a minute into this game.
Not even 45 seconds into the game, and Lethal already has 5 kills to his name. Lethal has been playing on fire this entire tournament, but it's good to see he's continued it to the finals.
Well, I mean, Lethal stepped up when he needed to step up, and Snakebite gets the double. Not quite the triple, but he'd already done the damage to allow his teammate to come through. And now it looks like the roster of Tox Gaming are just running around playing free-for-all at this point, winning all of their individual fights, but the team shot is coming from the others that aren't playing that free-for-all style, and that's what's working so well for them.
Yeah, you just see Snakebite one-shot Neighbor there, and that's just a testament to how good Tox is at finishing their teammates' kills. They've been able to do that so far all series long. And for Falling Esports, you have to start staying alive. You have to slow the game down. I know it's hard on Heretic Slayer, but you got to find a way to get some kind of control to kind of turn this snowball around, because right now, it's getting out of hand.
Yeah, a 9-kill deficit, could have been 10, but we need to see Falling Esports slow this down ever so slightly. They do pick up a big kill onto Snakebite, though, as Royal 2 is just applying a little bit of pressure from the window here, being that anchor that we see so often on various different maps, and he is going to go out and try and support his teammates. And they still have an 8-kill lead, Tox Gaming, and things go a little bit quieter on Heretic now. You could naturally feel that Falling Esports are more reluctant reluctant to push out. They don't want to give away any easy kills here.
Right, and this looks like it's going to be an opportunity for Falling Esports to kind of trap Tox in the blue base car side right now. There's multiple players in the window. Frosty pushes in, picks up the kill on Royal 2, and this is a great opportunity for them to kind of get their own snowball going. If Ace can stay alive here, this bodes well.
Well, he can't stay alive, but it is only reduced now to a 5-kill deficit as Frosty pushes on, but he gets taken out, and it's a triple kill for Royal 2. Every time we go on this man's screen, it's multi-kill after multi-kill. He doesn't need a sniper rifle. He's more than happy just with a BR. 6-kill advantage, make that 7 thanks to a plasma grenade.
Right, I think honestly, these maps without snipers are forcing Royal 2 to kind of play a little bit more aggressive, and it's benefiting Tox more than it's benefiting Falling Esports. As counterproductive as you thought that would be without a sniper in Royal 2's hands, he's proving us wrong. He's getting overkills, triples, and back-to-back games.
Honestly, every member on the Tox Gaming roster right now seems to be stepping up. Even the likes of APG, we've not seen much of in this game. You can tell that he's getting the job done. He's pushing in the right areas to allow these kills from Royal 2. We're on board with Ace, though, who is going to try and take some shots onto APG from the bubble, but he's just surviving at this point. Fortunately, does take down Royal 2, and I think that's damage control. If you can shut down the players that are performing well, you're always going to have a better chance of getting back into the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And something that's really sticking out to me right now, Dan, is the amount of pressure Tox Gaming has put on Falling Esports as soon as they're able to spawn. Tox is putting shots down on you. Tox is pressuring you, pushing you. That's APG, that's Lethal, that's Snakebite. I mean, the whole team is swarming on their spawns, and this is not your typical Tox playstyle that we've seen in the past. Maybe they talked about it in between Winners Finals, and now that we need to step this pace up.
I mean, in the Winners Finals, we had one of the slowest series we've seen all tournament long, but this certainly has sped up. Neighbor does take down APG, though. Still 5 kills behind and only 9 kills required for Tox Gaming to go 2-0 up in this series. Make that 7 all of a sudden. That's how quickly everything can change from the Tox roster. And Falling Esports are just trying to group together, trying not to be caught out individually, but it's very difficult with the situations that they're being put in by the Tox Gaming pressure that's being applied.
Honestly, we've seen Falling Esports car side of the map the entire game, and that might work on Heretic Flag like we saw in the Winners Finals, but that does not work in Heretic Slayer. You want pink control, and Royal 2 has been holding it down what feels like the entire game.
Well, he's going to try and survive here, try and dodge out of the way of these plasma grenades, and he does manage to get his shields back, so he can just push out and try and help his teammates elsewhere. Falling Esports, they're getting into every nook and cranny that they can. They're kind of hiding away as Ace wins a big BR fight. Only 6 kills behind, but they need a really big momentum swing if they're going to get back into this, and you feel like Tox Gaming are just going to be able to trade kill after kill and win this game. Snakebite's going to apply some shots from across map, does spot Ace out. A great communication yet again from Tox Gaming.
Yeah, and notice how Snakebite backs up and tries to get some shots on the pink 3. Does get some good shots on a neighbor, picks up another kill. I love that play out of Snakebite just to kind of fall back to where he knows his teammates are, where he knows he'll have help. And look, he's on a killing spree to try and end this game. Every member of Tox getting a ton of medals.
49 to 44. They just need the 1 kill now to go 2-0 up in the series. Lethal should be able to get it on Eco. He hunts and he does with the beatdown. 50 to 44. And maybe we're starting to look at potential champions of DreamHack Dallas, because it looks like they've amped up their play, they've sped up their play, and they look incredible right now, Tox Gaming.
Unbelievable performance. I mean, the pace that Tox has decided to try and bring to this finals is different than what we've seen from them in the past, and that's huge. They knew Falling Esports was going to try to be the aggressive team, so what did they do? They said, let's be the aggressive team ourselves. Now we see APG with 19 assists. That is unbelievable teamwork, and it shows when we're watching the game. Everybody that Lethal is shooting, everyone that Snakebite is finishing, is one shot, and that's due to the amount of teamwork that Tox was able to perform with.
Yeah, we didn't see much of APG's point of view because he wasn't grabbing the kills, but 19 assists is insane on Heretic Slayer. And now Tox Gaming, they're starting to chug away with this one. They're starting to get away from Falling Esports. However, we do know that Falling Esports have the capability to get back into this series.
Last time Winners Finals went 2-0 to Tox, and then we saw Falling Esports tie it up 2-2. So this Falling Esports team can bounce back, but it's a long road. You start to look at it when you're on Falling Esports, and that game just ends. You're like, we're down 0-2. We got to win 1 best-of-7 to get to the second best-of-7 to beat this team. It starts to almost be overwhelming. You got to wonder what's going through the minds of these Falling Esports players as they fall down 0-2.
Well, speaking of the best-of-7, there's the series layout for you. Game number 3 is going to be King of the Hill on Construct. Now, We had questions that we asked of Tox Gaming when we saw them on King of the Hill Construct all the way back in pool play on Friday versus Invincible. Do you think they've had the time to readjust? And do you think they'll be able to pick up from maybe where they left off, or do you think they're going to be able to find something else?
No, I think they've definitely tweaked as they've gone throughout this tournament about how efficient their objective play has been in the time games, specifically Construct King. And I think that they are very aware that Falling Esports is kind of trying to exploit how poor Tox was at playing the objective while getting kills on this game type. I really want to see how Tox comes out this game, and if Falling Esports is able to exploit the inefficiency that Tox has playing the objective.
If I'm honest, Guardian Oddball and King of the Hill Construct have looked like the weakest game types for Tox Gaming, but maybe they're going to turn it around just at the right time here in the grand final at DreamHack Dallas. Snakebite is going to push up back gold just to get things going, and he's going to get plenty of shots across and manages to take down Neighbor, and now he's going to have a perfect view for these rockets. In fact, forget the view, just jump on them and grab them himself as he gets the call out that there are going to be people pushing up the P. Just needs to try and stay alive here. Very difficult, and he recognizes that, and he's just going to go and waste these rockets, Wes.
That's an unbelievable heads-up play by Snakebite. I don't know many players that would have done that on the circuit. I think they probably would have tried to stay alive, maybe drop in the basement, and probably would have died with those rocks. But now, Tox doesn't have to deal with a Falling Esports rocket player, so heads-up play by Snakebite. That just shows how comfortable he is in the finals.
Well, you spoke about it before the series, how important the rockets were for Tox Gaming in the winners bracket final, and it looks like they're more than happy to get rid of them as well, as APG gets a double kill, and several members of Falling Esports are down and will be respawning, and that's why APG is just scouting around. He does spot them on open ramp. He can't hit the snipes, but thankfully he does survive. He's under pressure from Frosty, but eventually he gets the snipe, and now he can look towards top gold, see if anyone's lifting there. All the meanwhile, Tox are racking up a little bit of hill time down in this bottom hill. Looks for the double, doesn't quite get it, but Neighbor is going to push him, and there's the no-scopes. Did the damage, didn't quite get the kill.
Yeah, APG had a ton of assists last game. He says, I kind of want some kills this game, so he starts it off with a killing spree with the snipe. That's exactly what Tox wants from APG, the do-it-all player that he can be. And Tox has done a good job of trying to get some hill time while slaying. They've kind of changed it up since the beginning of this tournament, Dan.
One of the most important times in the game coming up, when that overshield will be spawning, and of course, when that hill will be moving at the same time. So you really need to choose what you're going to prioritize at this point. It looks like Falling Esports are going to prioritize getting up top, but Neighbor's picked himself up a plasma pistol just to put in the back pocket in case he's pushed by an overshield guy in any matter of time.
Yeah, and as we see this overshield, we're going to see Falling Esports doesn't even try to contest it. Remember when we watched them play Construct Slayer, they were contesting the camo every single time, and they got punished for it. So maybe Falling Esports talked to themselves after the series and said, we're not dropping anymore, we're going to keep map control. And now you see them combo the overshield guy. That's perfect execution of how to deal with an overshield guy. Unbelievable change of strategies by Falling Esports so far.
Yep, they did have top control. However, I think it was maybe too easy for Tox Gaming to join them up top here and being able to remove that potential to get any hill time from Falling Esports. But Neighbor's going to apply a little bit of pressure now on the hill guys. It's going to be Snakebite and Royal too, but he doesn't have any help, and he's been pushed by several members of Tox, and he just has to retreat away from this, and he's going to be called out. But this is really good movement from Neighbor by staying alive and still applying pressure.
Right, but we need to see Falling Esports kind of be more objective efficient themselves. As good as they've been throughout the tournament, they are struggling currently by getting the hill and slaying at the same time. Neighbor with a great flank onto the hill guy, though, does find himself in a 2v1 situation.
Oh, Neighbor!
Almost pulls off a sick out BR on Snakebite. Frosty finishes the kill. Rockets are up. This is Falling Esports' opportunity to kind of get some hill time and come back into this game.
Yeah, timing seems to be on point now for Falling Esports. They might have struggled with it in the winners bracket final, but they've managed to find their footing here in the grand final. Boy, do they need it to get back into this series as well. 66-15, and finally, Frosty is going to push in to this hill and actually grab some time. But you don't want to be in the hill with Rocket, so that's why he's pushing to top gold. He's going to hope that he finds someone and doesn't get caught up by these grenades. APG survives and gets a massive kill to take down those Rockets.
Absolutely. Frosty forced to trade with the Rockets. He really needed a teammate in open, and that's the kind of objective efficiency that Falling Esports is lacking so far in this game. Frosty needed a teammate in the hill so that he could push gold faster, and not let Tox Gaming get their feet on the ground top gold.
Well, Tox still have quite a substantial lead at this point, and Snakebite's got a sniper rifle with mid gold as well, so they need to be very careful as the overshield is coming up. The hill's moving at the same time, but Snakebite, he's timed it to perfection. He's going to be able to push with this overshield. Frosty arrives a little bit too late. He's going to be punished for that and taken down, and now Snakebite can push with overshield and sniper rifle. And to tell you what, Snakebite has been absolutely phenomenal this series. He seems to be really on point. He wants this victory.
I think all of Tox is on point right now. I mean, their power weapon and power up control has just been nothing but perfect so far in this game. I mean, the one time Fong Esports had a power weapon, Snakebite landing shots on all players above him, not missing, and he takes out Neighbor as he jumps off the map. That's 3 dead for Fong Esports, and another opportunity for Tox Gaming to kind of extend this lead.
Yeah, Snakebite doing really well against falling as he's falling at that point. Ace also gets shut down in the hill, but he does have teammates to make sure that his death was not in vain. There's still quite a lead for Tox Gaming here against Falling Esports. They've been able to get the overshields, and I guess we should credit the coach behind the Tox team. The fact that Royal One is there to give them those callouts, to give them those timings, clearly is helping. A sniper rifle drops right in front of Eco's eyes, but he's not going to pick it up just yet. Going to try and regain his shields, prioritizing his life rather than just getting that power weapon.
Yeah, and I think a player behind him was able to pick up that snipe, but immediately goes down, and now it's up to Frosty and Ace to kind of 2v3 this situation. It looks like they're able to pick up a couple kills, and now they're finally starting to get their feet on the ground and get things going in their favor and catching up to this Tox team.
Ace has got the sniper rifle, but it seems that the sniper rifle just provides your death at the moment. No one can hold on to it for any substantial amount of time. But Falling Esports have done well to get some really scrappy hill time to get closer towards the Tox Gaming total. But Eco comes out of nowhere with the assassination. He's rewarded with a sniper rifle. And now, you just got to get away with this sniper. No one's been able to get up top yet. It looks like Eco's going to be the first player to be able to do so.
Yeah, I love Eco trying to get up top now. Off our screen, Neighbor's actually going to be going for the overshield. He doesn't have a time because Falling Esports hasn't gone for one yet, but they do pick it up. But unfortunately, APG's picking up the rockets on the other side of the map. Now, we're going to have to see if overshield gets taken out. It does immediately. And that's Tox saying, we'll take up top control, we'll take the rockets, we'll give you overshield, and we plan on our rocket guy taking him out. Great execution by Tox's strategy right there.
However, APG unfortunately couldn't reload those rockets quick enough, so he was only getting the double, but he had done so much damage leading up to that point. They allowed the rest of Tox Gaming to push up and join him. Now Lethal is able to put the rockets in his back pocket, and I really like that Tox have been able to prioritize rockets or overshield depending on the timings. They really recognize how they want to win this game. They look completely different to how we saw them play King of the Hill Construct early on in this tournament. Even though they've practiced so much, they're still learning, they're still growing, they're still getting better, and that's terrifying.
I think they know how sharp they have to be to beat this Falling Esports team, so they're on their P's and Q's, and they're doing everything fundamentally to a T, and that's what it's going to take to beat a team like Falling Esports. But, I mean, Tox is the same way. They're just veterans. They know what it takes to win a finals, and they're doing it.
And now with this advantage of around 70 points as well, it's going to be very difficult to Falling Esports to get back into it. We have seen teams do it in the past though, so don't count them out just yet. Snakebite is just going to shoot the barrels to make sure he doesn't get caught off guard, but a grenade is going to land right under his feet and he dies anyway. Eco also falls, and Tox Gaming seem to be applying so much pressure every single time they see any member of Falling Esports. They're not letting them get away with any sort of easy survivability.
Yeah, there's not many individual fights being even fought in this game right now. It's mostly teamwork, and Tox has just had positioning and angles on everyone on Falling Esports. It's like they're fighting from a deficit the entire game, not only score-wise, but map control-wise, power weapon-wise, and it's starting to snowball out of control as far as the score is concerned.
Well, at least we are seeing Neighbor getting behind his opposition here. He has been able to be sneaky. Maybe he wants to try and get a spawn for his teammates on Sword. That's probably not going to happen now. APG's found him, but he does get the out BR. His teammates spawn elsewhere, and just as that happens, Tox, they drop for the overshield, and the hill's moving. They've got all of the timings down to a T in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Lethal doing a phenomenal job being on top of that, even though Neighbor was the last one to pick up the overshield for Falling Esports. Lethal, I want to see him just try and get map control because you have a good lead here. The only way that Falling Esports is able to come back is if you lose complete map control and your team gets put on spawn kill for a couple of times. So great job by him to kind of take everyone out up top and now focus on the players on the low.
Yeah, now they can get a little bit of scrappy hill time as well. Tox Gaming is something they've done much better in this game than they did previous. They weren't really getting that scrappy time in the earlier stages of this tournament, but he applies some shots across the map towards Ace. He did see that he had a sniper rifle, so that's going to be a call out for everyone to be very careful. And Royal 2 is straight on it. He sniffs out and says, hey, is that a sniper rifle I smell? I'm sure he wants to be able to grab that, so he can start to go to town on this Falling Esports roster.
And if he gets this kill on Eco, which he does, he's going right back for that snipe if I know Royal 2. He knows it's on the ground somewhere. He's going to be looking for it here coming up, but also rockets are coming up. So you know Royal 1's in his ears right now saying, hey, Matt, we got rockets coming up. Ignore that sniper for a second. You see TJ on the flank right now. Royal 2 taking his time for these rockets as he waits for Lethal to kind of bait. But Lethal goes down. Falling Esports needs these rockets for their win condition. Let's see if they're able to contain them.
Well, Frosty does grab the rockets, and they have prioritized the rockets, but all the meanwhile, there was a little bit of hill time gained by Tox Gaming, so it still means that Falling Esports are quite far behind in terms of score, but they are slowly but surely racking up some time. They do have rockets as well available from Frosty. Notice how he's not running with the rockets out. He wanted to try and surprise the Tox Gaming roster, just take the BR fight, encourage them to come and attack him, and then he would get out the rockets, but it hasn't really worked out. However, he is still alive. He does still have the rockets, but he gets pushed from APG from behind. 2 rockets go wayward. He tries to finish it off with some plasma grenades. He hasn't been able to pick up any big kills yet.
Off screen, though, Eco is able to pick up a kill, which will open up the sandwich that Tox just tried to put on the Falling Esports. This is going to be a great opportunity for them to get map control. They do spot out Snakebite flanking with the overshield. Snakebite playing this perfect, backing up, trying to get his teammates spawns up top. But there's a rocket guy pushing him.
At one point, I'm sure that Tox Gamer were thinking, hey, we can just keep Falling Esports out of the hill at this point. But slowly but surely, Falling have been able to climb their way back into this game. And now Tox have to really start thinking about getting more hill time to try and get away from the possible chance of Falling Esports stealing this away right at the death of this game. Eco is going to be grabbing hill time. He notices Snakebite coming up to his P. Some decent BR work, but it's not enough to take down PJ. And then over to TJ, who dies. And you can see how Neighbor is more than happy to take any of these fights right now.
Right, the biggest issue with this whole thing for Falling Esports is they only had one guy in open purple right there. And Snakebite lifts up and they give Snakebite just a one-on-one. He kills the hill guy, and now Falling Esports loses complete control of the map because of it. 2 of them get caught out in closed purple. You need to focus on the side of the hill, or the hill side of the map, if you want to come back in this game.
Royal 2 has a sniper rifle and he can watch over this hill now as well. Plenty of chance to do some damage, doesn't quite connect with the sniper shot, but he does stay alive whilst his teammates gets the double kill. It's going to be Lethal at top gold, and now time starting to tick away in Tox Gaming's favor. That's going to be another double kill as well for Lethal, and Falling Esports really struggling to get any control up top. Tox Gaming starting to run away with it.
Right, not only does the score look bad, but so does the clock when you're a Falling Esports fan. The clock is now officially working against you. Only 3 minutes left, and the lead for Tox is starting to get out of hand.
Royal 2 not quite connecting with that headshot though, and it's not the Royal 2 that maybe we're used to seeing, but got to remember, Snakebite has been doing a lot of sniping as well this event, so maybe Royal 2 just not quite as warmed up with the sniper rifle as used to, as APG is going to take this fight with Eco. Eco wins this one, but I don't think at this moment Falling Esports are going to win this game unless they have a miraculous turnaround at this point. You can see that they are just trying to get some scrappy hill time, and it looks like they got an overshield. No, they didn't. It's Snakebite yet again. Tox Gaming have been able to be on point with that timing, and this overshield should be enough to try and wean those players out of that hill and slowly secure this game.
Yeah, and this entire time, Rockets have been up. So not only did Falling Esports not go for the overshield, they didn't even go for the Rockets, Dan. They are, the game must be so chaotic for them right now to not be going for those set of Rockets when they know the overshield's up, to be able to kind of cancel that overshield guy out. But what happens? Tox gets the overshield. Because Falling Esports ignores the Rockets, Snakebite has overshield and has time to go for the Rockets, and now they're fighting a Rocket guy.
Now they can have time to close out this game as well. It's so difficult to try and prioritize anything from Falling Esports when you're this far behind, when you know you need to get Tox Gaming out of the hill, and it's only 5 seconds now until Tox are going to be going 3-0 up in this series. Yeah, okay, they've not secured it just yet, but you can see by the time that's available, we know this game is going to Tox Gaming. Falling Esports desperately trying to get into the hill, desperately trying to stop them, but they literally need all of the seconds left in this game now if they're going to have any chance of coming back into this. 3 members push through closed ramp against this man with the sniper rifle. He does get a killing spree, but it's going to be in vain. He falls as now no shields for Eco in this hill.
Yeah, as hard as Falling Esports might try to stop this game from ending, I think it's too little too late. They're still down 40 seconds. The Hill's going to move in 20. Tox has every option in the book as far as how they want to play the rest of this game.
And we saw how Tox played Slayer Construct when they were so close to winning. They were very patient and they waited for the camo. I think we can see something similar here. No, Snakebite says, I want to get the job done. 4 are dead, and that's going to be 3-0 to Tox Gaming. 1 game away from being the champions here at DreamHack in Dallas, and that was quite the experienced veteran performance on Construct King of the Hill.
Yeah, that was just a testament to how strong this Tox team is. Their power weapon and power-up control on the first map that finally has some power weapons and power-ups proves to be the difference in this game. And now it's a daunting task for this Falling Esports roster to try and even come back in this first best of 7, let alone take it to a second, Dan.
Yeah, they have to get a reverse sweep in this first one and then win yet another best of 7 if they want to be the champions here at DreamHack Dallas. A very difficult task, made more so difficult by the fact they're going up against one of the best rosters we've ever seen in Halo. I mean, this Tox Gaming roster is a bit of a dynasty. I know they have changed from Frosty to APG, but still they find themselves in a grand final, and it looks like they're on course for another championship as well. We'll bring up the series layout very shortly for you, but I can confirm that the 4th game is going to be Capture the Flag on Narrows. Now, this was a game we saw in the winners bracket finals between these two teams. Do you remember who won it? It was Tox, so that's not good news if you're a Falling Esports fan.
I knew the answer to that, just to let you know.
Of course you did.
I know you asked the question, you didn't let me answer it, but we took a look at the stats of that last game. Something that really stuck out to me, Dan, was Snakebite had 157 seconds in the Hill. He also went +10 with the most kills on his team. That's not easy to do. And if Snakebite's playing at that efficient of a level, this Tox team is almost unbeatable with the way that the rest of the players can play on just an average basis. It's incredible, the performance that they're deciding to put on, that they've waited to show everyone just for the finals.
It's been an incredible final thus far. However, the players are going to take a little bit of a water break just to try and calm down a little bit. It's 3-0 currently to Tox Gaming. It is the grand final here at DreamHack Dallas. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be back very shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to DreamHack Dallas. We are amidst the grand finals where Tox are currently 3-0 up versus Falling Esports. And, well, it's bad news if you are a Falling Esports fans, because Game 4 of this best-of-7 is a map that Tox have already beaten Falling in the winners bracket finals. We'll take a look at the series layout just to get the confirmation of how this best-of-7 is going to go down, because I tell you what, there was the potential for an incredibly close grand final here, but Tox just seemed to have stepped it up to a new level.
Yeah, Tox is definitely stepping it up, but Falling Esports is not playing as crisp as we saw them in the winners finals. They've got to be biting themselves right now that they've fallen down 0-3 right now in the finals. You know how bad these players want it, Dan. I expect them to step it up, but it might be too little too late.
Might be a little bit too late. However, we do remember how close that capture the flag narrows was in the winners bracket final. It came down just to that last capture in overtime. So there is that potential for Falling Esports to get back into things. I mean, it is a massive task on the hands for them if they're going to get back into this one, but do you think it is possible?
I do think it's possible. I mean, all of these players have been down in series and have been able to come back. It's a daunting task, though. I mean, somebody's got to start making plays for this team. We haven't seen anybody really make a big play since, like, Eco on the very beginning of Onslaught, and ever since then, it's really been like Tox. So everybody on Falling Esports needs to look themselves in the mirror and say, like, am I going to make a play and force this to further on in the series, or are we just going to go down like this? Because that's a decision only they can decide, Dan.
There is two ways that this grand final can go from this point. It can either be the last map of this entire tournament, or maybe it can be the comeback for Falling Esports. Now, I see everyone here in the crowd. If you want to generate a little bit of energy, I want to hear some noise from all of you guys. Let's make some noise here in Dallas, because there is a chance for Falling Esports to get back into this, and I'm entirely sure that it is possible if they can find the form that they found in that winners bracket final.
I'll tell you what, Dan, if I'm a Falling Esports fan right now, I'm getting as loud as possible because these players need your energy. When I was a player, nothing fed me more than the crowd. Nothing made me play better than knowing the crowd was behind me. If you're a Falling Esports fan, you have to be loud in this game right now if you want them to come back.
Game number 4 in this grand final of this best-of-7 is going to be capture the flag on Narrows. Sniper rifles are going to be ever so important, and of course, we'll keep an eye on those rockets as well, as Tox Gaming have done so well throughout this series. Frosty is going to be our first choice of point of view, and we know full well that he's going to have that sniper rifle. He's done so much with it in this tournament, but this is his time now to shine. He really needs to step up with the rest of this Falling Esports roster.
Yeah, when I made that comment about players having to step up on Falling Esports, that's exactly who I'm talking to. I'm talking to Frosty. He's the highlight reel that we know he is, but he's got to turn it on for this finals, and he's got to turn it up to a notch we probably haven't seen from him before right now.
Well, we can get an early flag pull from Falling Esports. They are not messing around, and they want to start very early. Neighbor does fall in the lobby. However, rockets have been secured by Eco. The flag is not going to be moved now. They are just going to focus on slaying because the flag does get put down. But Eco, he can just sneak around. He can flank around, try and get some big kills so they can go for another flag pull. But both of those rockets go wayward, and it looks like he might fall because he's not going to get a chance to reload these rockets. Royal 2 pops up. Snakebite gets the bait and switch, and the rockets go down.
Great defense once again from Tox. I mean, we've seen it all tournament long that it's so hard to cap a flag. Falling Esports was in a perfect position to try and take an early lead in this game 4, but they were unable to. Tox stands strong once again with the help of Royal 2 and Snipe.
And APG has a sniper rifle, and let's see how he can do. He hasn't done much slaying work in this series so far. He's been more of an assisting machine, but of course, he can do that with some body shots, but he shows he's got plenty of slaying ability as well. With the beat down onto Ace, there's a body shot tag. He can communicate that to his teammates. And I tell you what, Tox have got 2 sniper rifles, so this is a very scary thing for Falling Esports.
And honestly, if you're Falling Esports, you're kind of all right with Tox having 2 snipes right now because it's stopping any of them from kind of pushing past the 50-yard line because both of them are trying to sit back and hit shots, but Falling Esports isn't even giving them the opportunity. So even though Tox has the power weapons right now, they're not able to do anything because no one's pushing.
Well, Eco finds himself with a sniper rifle bullet right to the midsection, and Royal 2 is going to now look across, see if there's any spawners on Man Cannon, but instead is just going to join the rest of the team up top. He sees Lethal get taken down. He's going to try and spot who was the player who actually took him down in the end, but it's going to be APG who's the one getting aggressive into the lobby, as Royal 2 just can't get eyes on anyone at the moment, and as soon as he do, it's very difficult to try and react quickly and hit those shots.
Yeah, we talk about the defensive Tox. The defense of Falling Esports is just as great. They were able to weather the storm of the power weapons. Now APG Snipe is out of ammo. Royal 2 only has a few more shots. If they can limit the damage Royal 2 is about to do, this is really good if you're a Falling Esports fan.
Well, Royal 2 still not able to connect with any of these sniper rifle shots. One member of Falling Esports has been taken down. Make that 2 because Neighbor falls, and there's the double kill for Lethal, and he's going to push on and try and press. They are blocking these spawns though. Need to be very careful and at least communicate that to the rest of the team because they're going to be spawning over on the flag. Lethal tries to run away but gets blocked by the teammate, and it's not going to be a successful push for Tox Gaming, and that's why we're seeing Snakebite just retreat with his sniper rifle.
And once again we see Tox with 2 snipers. Rockets are up. I'm not sure if they're ever going to be able to push the way they need to against this Falling Esports roster with 2 snipers. Tox has really got to rethink the strategy if this is how they're going to play it. Neighbor does take out one of the snipes though, and he's going to cannon back to their base.
Oh!
But not before Snakebite has something to say about it.
Snakebite snipes him out of the sky and drops a little teabag as well in celebration. And now we can move over and see if he can find any more kills as we press on with this Tox Gaming roster. Can they actually find a flag? Can anyone find a flag in the opening stages of this game? Because it's been very evenly contested. Rockets, I think, were just taken down there as well, but Neighbor gets a little bit of revenge onto Snakebite.
Neighbor goes right back for the snipe. The Snakebite sniped him over the cannon width and takes him out. That was a huge play by Neighbor. Snakebite's out with snipe. Now that Eco has rockets, Falling Esports has the power weapons this time around. Let's see if they can do anything with it.
Eco goes down though, not able to do anything with those rockets really. Neighbor still has the sniper rifle and he's still going to lurk around his own sniper and look across, see if maybe he can catch anyone spawning, but Lethal is getting a job done onto Frosty. Now he can push up with the rest of the squad and try and take this top middle control, which I've got to say Tox Gaming have done very well so far to actually keep Falling Esports at bay. The aggression that we saw in the winners bracket finals from Falling Esports has really been slowed down by Tox.
I love this play by Lethal. He's pushing straight into the lobby by himself, but he's playing it so sneaky. Catches Frosty off guard. I want to see Lethal kind of go towards the flag. Unfortunately, Neighbor cuts his route off. Lethal needs to stay alive and buy time. Where are the other members of Tox to help Lethal right here? They're pushing up. You see Snakebite and APG both in the enemy base for Falling Esports.
When I was speaking to the Tox roster, they said that where they struggled in objective games was because they weren't pushing together and they weren't pushing at the right times. Well, Snakebite has pushed into the flag. He does see Frosty on his own power up. Ace is going to get taken down, and now this could be a flag run and potentially the first flag cap. But look how Snakebite is prioritizing, just trying to get some shots into Frosty so he can help his team take him out. He does get taken out himself by a grenade, but he has managed to get that flag one hell of a distance so far.
APG does eventually track Frosty down off screen, and that's a huge kill because he was the one player that was going to be able to stop this cap from going in. Tox is going to take the lead in game 4.
And Tox are getting even closer to being the champions here at DreamHack Dallas now. Falling Esports have to respond, and they're going to have to step up their aggression, get a little bit faster pace, maybe try and catch Lethal and the rest of the boys off guard here. But Lethal has a sniper rifle, but unfortunately cannot stay alive. Tox Gaming slightly on the back foot, need to just stay alive at this point and wait for those respawns. There's a lot of pressure on Snakebite. When you see a flag moving and you're on the other side of the base, you're going to really struggle. However, he applies so much good PR shots from across the map, and now it's going to be up to him to stop this flag.
It really is up to him, but he gave his position away to try and help Royal 2 on the power-up. Unsuccessfully was able to help Royal 2, and now Falling Esports knows Snakebite is there.
Sniper rifle in the hands of Frosty though, but this flag isn't being moved anymore, and it is just going to go back and probably be returned at this point, as Frosty does at least pick up a kill from across the map. The flag is still there, but APG's got rockets to try and pressure, and there is the reset from the flag. So again, Tox doing really well to push into the right scenarios and the right situations to make sure that Falling couldn't get that flag cap.
That's such a frustrating experience for Falling Esports right there. That's a flag cap they should have gotten, and Tox just did a little bit more than Falling Esports was able to do, and now they're still behind. I mean, that's so frustrating, especially being down 3-0 in the series already.
I mean, you say it's a flag they should have been captured, but what went wrong? Why didn't they capture that, Wes?
Snakebite bought just enough time at the power-up. We saw him putting down shots. We saw him being a nuisance, and he forced just enough focus away from the flag that the rest of Tox was able to push, finish the flag guy, and APG was able to kind of clutch it for the rest of the team and just do just enough for the flag to return. Frosty wasn't able to get that final touch. And now Falling Esports is not only frustrated, but still losing this game 4.
Yeah, still behind, and they're still going to have to try and push in and get a flag at some point. Otherwise, if we get to that 15-minute mark and it remains this score, it will be 4-0 to Tox Gaming, and it will be them walking away as champions. But of course, plenty of time left. Yeah, still 7 minutes and 30 seconds before we get to that situation. Ace is just going to be roaming around trying to support his teammates. Does spot Lethal, will take this BR fight, but Lethal getting some really dangerous shots. Not quite enough though, but there's the cleanup crew in APG. 3 dead now for Falling Esports. Tox will have control of top middle yet again. Rocket's going to be up in around a minute's time.
And the bad news about all of this is the Snakebite cannoned over and stole the sniper for Falling Esports off screen. And now Falling Esports once again does not have their own sniper to be able to even try to mount a comeback with a power weapon. They're going to have to do it with just BRs against 2 snipers once again.
APG sees that Royal 2 goes down, so he's not going to pull that flag just yet. He does see 2 players on the man cannon though. We'll call them out. He hears the man cannon as well. He's not going to pull the flag as the distraction technique right now. Instead, he's going to push top middle and secure some kills. Gets 2 kills, and that's what's now going to make him push into this flag, pull this flag. He doesn't expect to cap at this point, APG, but he literally just wants to try and distract this Falling Esports roster from being able to push up and press onto top mid.
Absolutely, but he is getting it pretty far. Does get knocked to no shield and leave it. He knows this flag is going to be returned. Does get some solid damage, but the rest of Tox is more focused on defense rather than offense because they already have the lead.
Snakebite backing off with a sniper rifle once again, just trying to scout around top mid and see if he can find anything. Does get pushed from behind. Can he connect with a no-scope? He can, and he stays alive as well. Fantastic support from the rest of the Tox boys to make sure he stays alive. You spoke about how sometimes you have to play VIP when you're playing on Halo 3. You have to protect those with the core weapons, with the weapons that can win games, and that's exactly what Tox Gaming are doing right now.
A big nade kill to finish off Ace there by Snakebite, and he's going to rotate back to see top middle with this snipe. This is a tough situation because Lethal just picked up the snipe. The rockets are coming up, and APG has rockets on his mind.
Snakebite hitting body shots left, right, and center at the moment. Really flowing and really feeling confident as he's going to join the rest of the boys. Takes down Ace, gets a killing spree, and now he's going to push into the lobby. Neighbor's going to be the first point of contact, and he's going to force Snakebite to retreat here. But now APG can say, hello, I got rockets as well. I'm going to join this attack. As now really, Tox Gaming have full control of Narrow's flag.
Yeah, the way Tox is playing this situation is so slow, so passive. They want to overslay. They don't want to risk giving up any of these power weapons. But just as I say that, APG flies into their lobby by himself with rockets. Ends up getting knocked to no shield, but stays alive. Notices his sniper's dead, and now he's going to try and play this sneaky, but he definitely wants to shoot this rocket before going down. Does take a player with him. And all he's doing right now is forcing Falling Esports to play defense. He's forcing so much chaos on the map for this Falling Esports roster. And being a nuisance in the base, this is a huge, huge advantage for Tox Gaming. He does eventually get taken down, but not without doing enough damage first.
Yeah, it done so well to survive that long, and there was actually 3 dead from Falling Esports, but Falling did very well to make sure no flag run was going to happen from Tox. But all the meanwhile, Tox are wasting time. They are eating away at the possibility of Falling getting back into this game. Only 4 minutes and 25 seconds left now. Lethal wasting a little bit of ammo, trying to get a couple of no-scopes on the go as well, and he's just going to back up. Or is he? Maybe he actually fancies getting quite aggressive here. How confident does he feel with this sniper rifle? Is he going to use it as a shotgun close range? He does go down, and the Falling Esports can grab that sniper now.
And Lethal has got to be kicking himself for that decision. He went for the no-scope. He knew he was going to come into close quarters with a player right there, and he had a snipe out. Very confident play, but it didn't work out in his favor. Can Falling Esports now punish Lethal for that decision?
Can Falling Esports even get a flag on the go? Can they get a flag in this game, or are they just going to fall 1-0? I mean, we've seen it happen many a time in Narrows when just the 1 flag cap can be enough to win a game. Ace is going to pepper some BR shots to top mid, but he's greeted by 3 members of Tox Gaming, and the team shot is absolutely phenomenal from them. At least Ace survives and takes down Snakebite at the very least, but look how scared he is right now because he knows that Tox are just flooding into that top middle position.
Yeah, the fact that Tox wasn't able to kill Ace is huge right there. Ace single-handedly just stopped a cap from Tox. I'm going to call that right now. But as I say that, Lethal still has a snipe. He's still taking faces, and he's anchoring this map for Tox. I mean, Falling Esports cannot get any sort of map control going this game, and it's almost over, Dan. We got 3 minutes left.
I mean, capture the flag on Pit in that winner's bracket final is when Lethal really stepped up with the sniper rifle, with the overshield, and I'm sure we will remember that for quite some time. But now is he going to step up in this grand final? He does connect with a body shot onto Neighbor, so he is going to push, gets the kill, and that is going to stop any sort of push from Falling Esports. They're not going to be able to get behind. And Tox now, do you think at this point they just play defense? Wes, do you think they say, look, let's just close this game out for this next couple of minutes?
I think it's right about now that all the members of Tox just looked at the clock and said, all right, let's not mess this up. We have this in the bag. But just as I say that, Falling Esports is able to take out a few players, and you see Neighbor, he's got his eyes on the flag. But Royal 2, he's starting to fly with rockets, and that's never a good sign if you're on the other side of that.
He already had one successful airstrike, and it looks like he's going to try a couple more, see if he can catch anyone from top mid. Does see Ace, but good trigger patience there from Royal 2, not throwing away any of these rockets because he knows how important they can be in the latter stages of this game. But he continues with the airstrikes, and it's going to be Eco the first one to fall. Good BR damage as well onto Frosty. And now Royal 2 is just being such a nuisance. It's so difficult for Falling to push up and get aggressive when they're just constantly hearing a man cannon and rockets just trying to stem the aggression.
Royal 2 is actually trolling right now in the finals, I'm going to call it. There's no way that he's actually supposed to be cannoning like this, but he is doing a phenomenal job of stopping Falling Esports from getting top control. And finally, someone from Falling Esports says, I'm done with it, I'm killing Royal 2. He's dead, let's push.
I mean, after 6 man cannons, you get kind of sick of the sound, so I'm kind of glad that someone did shut him down immediately. Snakebite trying to survive in the lobby, though. As you can see now, Tox are kind of turtling up. They're getting a little bit defensive. They know how close they are to lifting the championship here in Dallas. 3-0 already in this series, and it could be 4 in 1 minute and 20 seconds. What the Falling Esports have left in the tank. They've been through so much throughout this tournament, but they need to push, and they need a flag cap now.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for them right now. It's almost like Tox got too defensive, but just as I say that, Royal 2 wins this one-on-one on the flag. But Frosty has to make a play with the snipe if he wants this game to be tied up.
This flag is being moved, but APG comes zooming across the man cannon, and just like that, out of nowhere, right at the death, Ace get the cap, and they tie this one up 1-1. And again, we can't separate these two teams on Narrow's flag in regular time unless we see one of them push up in the next 40 seconds.
And that flag cap is all on Tox Gaming. They played so passive, they've tried to play defense, and Falling Esports just exposed them for trying to get too defensive and play too passive. Falling Esports took map control finally in this game and started a flag run, able to tie it up. And now it's going out of regulation.
Yeah, now I wonder whether that's going to come back to bite Tox Gaming, as another flag is going to be moved by Falling, but actually a flag is also being moved by Tox Gaming at the same time. Both teams trying to secure the victory here just as we're getting to the end of regular time. But Neighbor comes back. He's going to get the flag return and make sure there's not going to be any easy cap for Tox Gaming here.
Yeah, and across the map, Royal 2 is able to take out Ace, who was running the flag. So both flag runs were stopped. We're going to see another battle for map control right here, top middle.
15 minutes remaining, which means we go into overtime, which means 1 cap to win for either of these teams. And it could be that one final cap that Tox need to be the champions here, or maybe it could be the start of a comeback for Falling Esports. The rockets drop right in front of Snakebite, and this could be the push that they needed. He finds the first kill onto Ace. He looks to see if he can find anyone else. He does catch Eco on those shields, and now with 2 dead, he can communicate that to the team, and they can start to press, look for the spawns, and maybe get this final flag running, but that's going to be a wayward rocket.
You really wanted to see a player from Tox be on the flag as Snakebite picks up that double to be able to run the flag, but now they're going to have to overslay Falling Esports once again. Snakebite does get a player to no shield, does get a kill as well. This is a great opportunity because Royal 2 has sniped top middle.
Royal 2 can watch, and maybe the game in his hands as the flag is under fire, but Snakebite is still running it. He's running it through lobby as well. This could be the final flag. This could be the championship. It's another championship for Tox Gaming. They have been absolutely phenomenal this tournament, and they are your DreamHack Dallas champions. Commiserations, of course, to the boys on the other side. They played so well, did Falling Esports, but in the end, Tox Gaming, too strong, 4-0, amazing and immense grand final from them.
What an unbelievable performance Tox brought to this finals. You have to wonder if Falling Esports just ran out of gas. If the task of beating Tox 2 best-of-7s was just so daunting to them that it overwhelmed them throughout the series. I mean, losing early on in this series really just spelled a terrible path for Falling Esports, but that's what Tox wanted. That's exactly what Tox brought to this finals. They brought their championship caliber play, and they performed unbelievable throughout all 4 games.
Plus 17 from Snakebite, going absolutely off in that capture the flag on Narrows. But Tox, they are the dynasty again. They are doing it yet again. Another championship under their belts. Another one for Lethal, may I add, who has still not finished outside the top 2 in the last, 5 years, which is incredible, Lottie. What a grand final.
Indeed, GG's no re. Amazing stuff there from that incredible roster of Tox Gaming. I am unbelievably impressed with them, but I do feel like their playstyle changed in that grand final from what we've seen so far this weekend. The way that they came out of the gate so hot off the mark, the pace that they set for that entire series for me was something that you just cannot match. You cannot train that. That is something that that team have managed to take through so many different events and tournaments going forward now for their career, and it's unmatched.
Well,
It's on a different level.
It's literally what I said before, sorry, just before I continue. Literally, before the series, I said the only thing Tox need to do is step up the pace and the speed, and then that way it'd be perfectly fine. They can do all the calls they wanted, and they did exactly that plus more. They're more aware of the spawn grid, what was going on, especially in that Construct Hill game, which had such a huge lead. There is so much to talk about there, but we only have a short amount of time to explain it. And all I can say is that Tox absolutely dominated that series.
There's so much to talk about, but who better to talk about it than actually the Tox roster? We're actually going to give our mics to the Tox boys if you want to invite those guys in. If you guys want to come in for an interview, you can take our mics. It's been a pleasure casting the grand finals with you, Wes. But now we're out. Peace. And we'll allow these boys to take and have a little chat with you.
Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you so much, Clutch. I really appreciate all of your efforts throughout the entire weekend. Amazing stuff. Boys, welcome to the desk. Oh, it's going a bit quick. You going as well? Bye, Lethal. Bye. There we go. Okay, fantastic stuff. Gentlemen, congratulations, first of all, our winners of our entire DreamHack Halo competition. And this is your wonderful trophy here. Matt, do you want to pick it up? See how it feels to be a winner yet again?
Can I keep this one? No, it's not the last one.
APG, you want to keep that?
They let me keep the other one.
I let him keep the last one. Now he's getting greedy.
He's got a whole cabinet at home to keep these in.
Yeah.
Lethal, you can't deny the man that.
Yeah, I can.
You can.
I gotta bring home something to the dogs. They gotta be proud of me.
I mean, Lethal, I'll start with you here today. That grand final, that series was so different from the one we saw you play falling earlier on. I mean, what did you guys change going into that?
Nothing. I think we just won the game instead of losing them. That took not very long at all compared to the first series, where I feel like that was as long as the other 2 days of the tournament. I think we kind of did the same stuff. As you saw, the Narrows flag was super long, just like the first Narrows flag. I don't know. I like that way better, though.
Yeah, I think you would as well. I mean, APG, we've had you on the desk numerous times now, and it's been lovely to get your input here, but you're standing here now as the champions. How does it feel?
It feels great. I mean, I have been up here a few times, every winter of you, so it's good to actually win the tournament.
Incredible. Royal 2, I did do you justice up here earlier. I did the Royal 2 pop-off.
Oh, the dance.
Can we get the real thing right now? Now you've won.
No, I refuse.
Oh.
That's yours now.
Terrible. Matt, really?
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I said you were
sorry. We'll save it. We'll save it for another day. We'll save it for another day.
I love
But
USA.
Royal 2.
I'm sorry.
I'm sick of it.
Royal 2, you have been putting work in the entire weekend, and we've seen some incredible stuff from you. How do you feel that you and the team played?
I think everyone on my team in the finals played great. I honestly felt like I took a different role in the finals. I was basically commanding them what to do. I was just screaming everything, and they were just killing everything. So it was like a different type of finals for me, but it was a good result. So.
Were you expecting it to be such a whitewash for you guys?
No, I was not expecting it. Since the first series we played them was so close, I did not expect this. I thought it was going to be another close match.
Amazing. Well,
I think
congratulations.
that just shows that you should not take all the weapons, because it was a lot easier that time.
You did absolutely nothing.
No, you did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I agree.
15 to 15.
Are you done?
No.
No?
I'm just getting started.
Okay,
but on
that's
stream,
fine.
I'm done.
That's fine. I'm going to let you guys go in just a second. We're going to say goodbye first, but congratulations once again, guys. Amazing stuff. Your DreamHack Halo 3 grassroots champions. Thank you so much for tuning in all weekend long. It's been an absolute pleasure to deliver all of the action, and we're having still a little bit of trolling here to Royalty on the desk, but thank you so much for tuning in, and we will catch you again soon. Good night.
The reflection. In the reflection of the trophy, it was just like, I don't know, it showed you swaying. It was like a mirror.